Hello and welcome, friends. I hope everybody's having a great day so far. If you are new here, welcome, and I hope you'll consider hitting that subscribe button and sticking around. And if you're back, welcome back. I greatly appreciate all of your ongoing support. This is my channel, Dragon's Jewel Creative Gems, and I'm Tegan. Today we are doing a WIP and chat. WIP just stands for Work in Progress, for those of you that don't know. So pull out your diamond painting, your crafty project, your cross stitch, whatever project you're working on, and I'll chat and we'll catch up. And I've got something a little fun planned for today as well, since I didn't make too many notes about my week. But we'll get around to that. And maybe you're cleaning the house, whatever it may be. So I'll just get around to that YouTube-y thing. If you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and make comments. All of that greatly helps out with this channel and kind of does all that YouTube algorithm stuff and gets my videos out there so other people can find them. Right now I'm working towards getting that 100 goal. I'm at about 76 subscribers right now, so anybody who hasn't subscribed yet and has been enjoying my content, now would be a great time to do that. So I'm going to get working on this. This is the Fairy Lights canvas by Ivy Dollamore, and right now I'm working on one of the fairy swings. I'm very zoomed in, so you can either kind of watch what I'm doing, or you can listen to me chat, whatever your preference is. Usually with these videos, I treat them a little bit like a podcast, so I'm listening to them while I work on whatever project I'm working on. The odd time I'll be doing dishes or something. It just really depends what I've got on the go that day. But yeah, so I'll just get into my week, or my 2 weeks, I guess, because I do this every 2 weeks. As I said, I didn't take very many notes, so I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants and trying to remember what happened in my crazy 2 weeks, or not so crazy 2 weeks. And I'm trying to think, that's pretty much March. So what my March has been like so far. Hard to believe it's already the middle of March. I'm not sure where these months keep going. At this rate, we'll be at the end of the year again. I've been working on this canvas here for 2 different events. The Diamond Painting Fanatics Spring Flings event and Mermaids and Magic event. I'm using this canvas for both because they qualify for each event in slightly different ways. I wanted to do Diamond Grandma's Jungle Fever event, but my canvas came in late, and I don't think I'll get it done in time, so I haven't started that one up like I had hoped. Just too bad, but it happens. I still want the canvas, and it's adorable, and I'll just work on it for something else. It'll fit in elsewhere, I'm sure. So those are kind of the 2 events that I'm doing in March here, and let's see, March I've had a lot of just, I don't know, keeping stuff organized for my son mainly. We had his home nutrition meeting over Zoom, discussed when he was sick there and had that weight loss, and some strategies around trying to get his weight back to where we would all like to kind of see it. And with him being so active, that also meant an increase in his feed, so he's getting those additional calories. So we've got another check-in for that in April, or towards the end of the month, or April, I can't remember exactly when, but we'll have another check-in basically, which will be what his weight is after we've done this increased calorie intake for a month and see if, you know, we're tracking in the right direction or not. So far, the little guy hasn't gotten sick or done lots of throwing up or anything like that to really sidetrack that, so that's always a good thing. Sorry, I'm just taking a sip of my coffee here. Well, I think. We had a Zoom meeting as well with his specialized service teams, and those are the people that come into our home and they work on some of his food play and oral stimulation skills, his behavior, speech, that sort of thing. So we had our, what was it, the 6-month meeting for that, and just kind of discussed what goals we had for him for the year with their services, where he's at, if any modifications need to happen. Are those still the goals that we feel are the best goals for him at this point, or are there other goals that are more important? And it's just kind of that kind of a thing where we just reevaluate our plan with them so that they know what to focus on and which areas are kind of his strengths and his weaknesses. So we had that. That went really well. But it is very, very tiring. Because the whole time it's kind of advocating for him and thinking, you know, like, okay, these are his current strengths, these are, you know, where we're at, this is what I'd like to see, but how reasonable. So I mean, it's a lot of back and forth with his team. So it's kind of exhausting in a lot of ways, and so I ended up needing a nap after that. So I wasn't very productive that day. Other than that, what else? Oh, I went looking at his schooling for next year. I went and registered him at his designated school, because that's how it works here. We have to register with the designated school first, and then see if there's a program for him, see if they can meet his needs. And then if not, then they forward that information to a school within our area that can or has that program and hopefully has the space and all of that. We were told to come to the open house so that we could see the school, that designated school, talk to them about my son, that kind of thing. And oh, sorry, getting a yawn in here. I'm kind of tired. It's about 9 a.m. My son's at school while I'm filming this. I'm a little bit tired because I don't know how to sleep like a normal person. My insomnia gets really bad. I don't know what it is or why, but I've always had this issue. And so I'm a little bit tired because I got about 6 hours sleep last night by the time I fell asleep, and I wake up multiple times throughout the night as well, so it's not like I stay asleep either. I'm still feeling a bit tired this morning, but that's okay. That's why I got my coffee on the go. And I know I completely just sidetracked there. I'm sorry. This is my brain in the morning. I don't function very well in the morning. I'm not a morning person by any means. So we had found out, yes, I was talking to the school. So we had found out the what they call an open house date for that, and it was actually the principal that kind of showed everybody, the principal of that school that kind of showed everybody around, kind of showed where the gym was, where all the classrooms were, what programs they had, and what those program classrooms look like. So they did have what they called an interactions group, which is mostly for kids on the autism spectrum, which unfortunately, like, we see signs of it within my son, and we had wanted to get a diagnosis done through our one of the funded programs, but we were told he's too social, so they wouldn't evaluate him. So he doesn't qualify for that program through school, although that's exactly what the program looks like that he's currently in at his special needs school. It's been working really, really well for him, so I'm a little kind of unsure, I guess, a little maybe disappointed. I'm definitely frustrated that they're just dismissing these other signs like him getting overstimulated and like there's just a bunch of different little signs and kind of his focus and attention and stuff like that they're just kind of brushing it off right now, because he's social and he likes to be around other kids and he likes to be around people and he's friendly, he'll say hi and things like that. And I mean, he's pretty open about new people once he kind of gets used to you a little bit. But I mean, that's also part of the environment. He lived a year, when you think about it. He lived a full year in the hospital. He had multiple nurses and doctors come in and visit with him and see him and take his vitals and do all this stuff. So he's used to having people around. And I think part of him in some way likes that busyness because he's busy and he likes doing things and he likes watching and stuff like that too. So, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't get tired, that it doesn't overstimulate him, that he doesn't act out afterwards because he doesn't know what to do with himself and he doesn't know how to regulate all that excitement. So that's a bit frustrating, but the next kind of program that we look at is what they call individual support, which still meets his needs. It's where he's got delays, severe developmental delays, and requires meds and additional support that a regular kid at school doesn't require or need. So that'll still fit because he requires G-tube feedings, which he can't do himself. He's definitely has major speech delays, and some of his gross motors and fine motors aren't 100%, so he still requires lots of supervision and kind of hand-over-hand help with certain things. So that program still, I mean, it fits. But his designated school didn't have that type of program, so the principal took down our information so that she could look at our registration form and pass that along to another school. It's not far. It's still really close to us. They still provide transport to and from and stuff like that that we need. So, I mean, that's not a big deal. They transferred all the information over, so it looks like he's got the principal from the designated school phoned and kind of updated me, and they sent over the request for transfer to be transferred on the bus to and from school. So they sent over all that wonderful information to the other school, and it sounds like he has a spot there. They've got him in. So now I still wouldn't mind, because the other school didn't have that program, booking a kind of a tour of what his program and his classroom would kind of look like, and ask any questions that might come up from that. So I would still like to do that. I had asked the designated school about the possibility of that, and they said that they should be fine to be able to do that, just to give the other school a call and talk to either the principal or assistant principal. Likely would be the ones that would organize it. So that's something I still have to do, but it sounds like everything's lining up. We know now at least what school he's going to be attending, which is a good thing, because for a while there we weren't too sure which school he would end up fitting in. So that's good. Other than that, that's kind of what I've been busy with the last 2 weeks, is just kind of, like I said, behind the advocating for my son, making sure he's got his school lined up, doing his home nutrition and feeding stuff, and of course staying on top of all his specialized services stuff so that those still are where he needs them to be and how he needs them to be, and kind of what works for where he's at and what we want to see, kind of what are the next logical steps that you would see, little things like that. So that's been fun, I guess. I don't know if fun's the word, but that's what it is. That's what I've been up to. It's definitely, I guess, mentally draining in a lot of ways. Just kind of staying on top of that, keeping it all organized, which I have not been the best at lately. I did actually forget the initial specialized service team meeting that was online. I had completely spaced on when that was because I didn't have it written down anywhere. It wasn't in my face saying this is happening this day at this time. So I completely sidetracked and missed that. Thankfully, we were able to reschedule and got all caught up, and that's all good to go, because if I don't get on top of stuff like that too, I'm pretty sure they would get annoyed, and they have every right to cut the services if we're not, well, it wouldn't necessarily be them. They would cut it because our FSCD contract would basically say that we're not compliant and assume that we assume that we no longer need these services. So they would cut services because there's documentation, of course, naturally, that the center that we're going through for all these specialized services have to send our FSCD contract worker supporting documentation, basically proving that, you know, this is what we're working on, this is what we're doing, this is how it's helping Riley being my son, little things like that. So it's a process for sure, and it's not something that, oh my goodness, sorry, I'm just trying to straighten this diamond here. It's a process that definitely can't be faked or used without proof that it's needed. So that's been, like I said, mostly what I've been dealing with these last 2 weeks, other than kind of working on this event canvas and stuff like that. So now getting to what I thought I would do, since that's pretty much my update, which wasn't super long. But what I'm going to do next is a fun little, it's like a, I guess a quiz type thing that Diamond Painting Fanatics did, Cindy. She did on one of her Saturday Chatterdays, which is her WIP and chats kind of thing, and it's how Diamond, goodness words, how diamond painting obsessed are you? So it's just a fun little, like I said, quiz, and you can either track in your head your answers, or if it's easier for you to just kind of mark a tick down or write down something to signify a yes, because they're all kind of yes or no's type questions, and each question that you say yes to gives you a point. So there will be a total of, I think it's 30? Yes, 30 points. And basically the higher to that 30 number you are, the more obsessed with diamond painting you are. So I thought that would be kind of something fun. I'll of course answer along too, so you'll get to know a little bit more about my diamond painting journey so far. Sorry, just switching out colors here. So that'll also kind of be fun, I think, and like I said, you'll get to know about my diamond painting journey as well that way a little bit more. So yeah, we'll start with number 1. Have you ever joined a DP event? And DP is just meaning diamond painting. So have I joined an event? Yes, obviously I'm participating in 2 right now. Prior to this one, I have participated in the Drills and Chills and Festival of Witches diamond painting events. I participated last month in DP Hearts and Diamonds event as well. So I've done quite a few different events and of different sizes. I've done larger ones and smaller channel ones, and they work slightly different but similar. I just realized I missed a couple of drills with that first color that I did there. So I have done events, so that gives I'll of course will mark down a point for that, and then I will at the end of course tell you what my points are, and it'll be fun if you comment down at the end of this video what your number was, if you consider yourself diamond painting obsessed or not. Yeah, so I just we'll move on. We'll keep doing that, and then yeah, if you let me know in the comments, I would love to see your numbers, and I think it'll be really kind of fun and interesting to see where everybody's at. There's no right or wrong. It'll be fun. Okay, so the next one is, are you a member of a diamond painting group? Yes, I'm actually a member of a few different diamond painting groups. I am part of the Diamond Art Club VIP group. I'm part of the I'm part of some diamond painting D-stash groups, both the Diamond Art Club fans one and the Canadian licensed art one. I am also in the Crafty Coven, which is kind of both crafts and diamond painting. Same thing with Diamond Grandma Crafts. Hers is crafts and diamond painting, and then there's Pencil Surprises. Once again, it's both crafts and diamond painting. So I'm in a few. There are some crossovers of people, obviously, in each group, but each group is slightly different as well. Get to see everybody's work in progresses, learn new tips and tricks, and just kind of get to know that diamond painting community better, which is always a great and fun thing to do. So then number 3 is, have you found a hidden word on your canvas? And that just means when you're working on a canvas, each area has a symbol. So have I found a hidden word? Yes, I have. I've also seen other people post their hidden words, which is a lot of fun because all sorts of words are found, both clean and dirty. That's about all I'll say. On my own personal canvases, I have found both, but I'm known to have a dirty mind at times. It definitely hangs out in the gutter quite frequently. So yeah, I'm trying to think some of the cleaner ones. that I've found on canvases have been like a text abbreviation of LOL. I've seen wow. I've found wow. What else have I found? Axe, like the wood cutting axe. I've found that word before. So yeah, it's kind of fun. If there's a, I know I'm commenting on the number, but if there's a word that stands out to you that you found in a canvas, feel free to share it. I would love to know what fun words everybody has found in their canvases while working on pieces. I always enjoy some of the crafting groups that I'm in. We all laugh and kind of share stuff like that, as well as our diamond painting companions. So there's lots of pet pictures in those groups too. So yes, I have found hidden words in my canvases before. The next one is number 4. Have you ever watched a diamond painting YouTube video? I personally, yes, I have watched plenty. I watch a bunch of other diamond painting YouTube creators on a regular basis. I'm not a super quick video watcher, obviously, because I'm doing my own channel stuff and I'm a stay-at-home mom, and so sometimes I'm not always watching videos on the day they come out. I tend to watch them or listen if they're a WIP and chat as I work on my diamond paintings, so I kind of bounce back and forth, but I do watch plenty. Obviously, if you're watching this video, you can give yourself a check mark or a point for watching a diamond painting video, because this is considered a diamond painting video. I'm diamond painting and I'm discussing diamond painting. Yeah, so that's another one. And then this one's kind of a fun one. Have you ever ruined a diamond painting by any means? So that could just be, have you spilt something on it and ruined it? Have you thrown it in the trash for some reason? I don't know, maybe you somehow managed to rip it or set it on fire, I don't know. There's lots of ways you can ruin a diamond painting canvas. Maybe you put your release papers on incorrectly and couldn't get all that extra paper that sticks around and latches on afterwards. Yeah, so I haven't spilt anything or ruined my canvas in any of those kind of ways, but I did. It was a low budget one, and the background was so dark, the symbols were very difficult to read. I don't have a light pad either, so it was, I have really good eyesight, but I was straining to even try to begin to make out any of the symbols. It had missing bags of drills, a missing color of drills. It was just a low budget one, and I just decided at that point there was no way I was going to get any sort of enjoyment, or even motivation to work on it, so I trashed it. I threw it all in the trash. Now, that's the only time I've ever done that, but I have done it. So, did I ruin that canvas? Yes. Yes, I did. So I count that as a way to ruin a canvas. So if you've done something similar where, you know, you've trashed a canvas for some reason, count it. And then our number 6, have you ever dumped an entire drill container on the floor? So your drill container could be your drill tray, or what you kit up in. Basically whatever you're holding your drills in. Have you ever dumped them on the floor? Or dumped them in general? I've never dumped them particularly on the floor, but I have like bumped or knocked over my tray and spilled them all over my canvas. So I'm going to give myself a point there for that, because I have dumped an entire container of them. For those of you who have done it, it's not always a fun thing to clean up, especially if any land in your exposed glue. Yep, been there. And then our next one is number 7. Have you put the drills in the wrong spot on the canvas? So once again, have you been diamond painting, and let's say you're working on the ones that you would probably commonly do it as, you've got like a little square that shows up in the corner. Let's see if I can, yeah, something like this, right? Where you've got, that's your symbol. So you've got the little square on the corner, and maybe you put it on, there's same canvas could have the square down in this corner. And maybe you're not paying attention, or you've got your canvas upside down or something. Have you ever placed it in the wrong spot? So you're placing it on the wrong symbol, or you think you're working on a certain color and you place it on the wrong symbol. There's lots of different scenarios that you could place it on the wrong symbol. Have you ever done that? Give yourself a point. I haven't done it often, but I have done it. And thankfully, I have also caught it very quickly. So I didn't have that entire symbol in that section covered and done. So it was a fairly quick, easy fix as far as some of those scenarios can go. I've known people who've done the entire symbol in a section, and then you of course got to go back and figure out, okay, well, which drills were those again? So I have done that. Like I said, though, I caught it quickly, so it was a quick fix. Thankfully. Will I always be that lucky? Probably not. There will probably be a day that I do an entire section like that and bang my head on my desk and want to walk away from the project. Or, I mean, there's plenty of time, and the longer you diamond paint, the more likely you are probably to do some of this stuff too. Even though some of them seem like they might be newbie type things to do, but yeah. So question number 8, have you ever been to a physical store that sells diamond painting kits? That could be just a store that sells diamond painting kits, that could be your local craft store, maybe they sell some diamond painting kits, but it has to be a physical store location. Here in Edmonton, which is where I'm based, Edmonton, Alberta, as far as I know, there is no actual, like, just DP diamond painting stores or locations, not even pop-up locations that I know of. So I, most of the time, buy mine online. Our local Michael's Craft, though, which is a craft store, does sell a couple of diamond dots. And at Christmas time, they had those Make Market kits. And I shop at Michael's quite frequently. It's probably my favorite craft store. One of my favorite craft stores to go into. Just because they have that, they're larger, they have a nice variety, all of that, but they sell some diamond kits. They don't sell any, like, Diamond Art Club or stuff like that. It's just diamond dots mainly that they sell. So I mean, and even sometimes they don't have large selection of that, so I mean, I don't go specifically looking for a diamond painting kit there. I did when I first wanted to try diamond painting, I did go and find a kit or two there. But since then, I've kind of branched out to some other companies and websites and stuff that just have larger selections, really. But I have been to the physical store that has diamond painting kits, so I'll give myself a point for that. Our next question is number 9. Do you have a stash over 50? And that just means, do you have 50 diamond paintings in your stash? I would say I do. Between my Diamond Art Club and low budget kits, I think I'm not like crazy, but I do definitely probably have at least 50. The next one, number 10, is have you done a mystery canvas? I have not actually started a mystery canvas, but I do have them in my stash. So, although I have not worked on one to date, I definitely plan to work on one. So, I'm going to consider that a point. I'm not... the kits that I have that are mystery kits, I'm not planning on destashing or not doing. So, that's why I'm also giving me that point. I know... I know they're ones I'm going to definitely do. There would be no reason why I would destash them. I love the artists. I love the theme of them. So yeah, even though I haven't, like I said, done them yet, I'm going to do them. Number 11, have you done a custom DP? And if you're not sure what that means, that just means like anything that you've got this diamond painting custom made, it's usually going to be like one of a kind. Lots of them that you see is where people have sent in pictures of their pets. A really nice, gorgeous photo that they have of their pet that maybe they want diamond painting, or they were on vacation somewhere and took a photo that they really love, and they'll get that as a custom, basically something that a store doesn't offer or have, that you get made. There are companies and websites that do that. I have not done that yet, but that's mainly because I haven't found something that I want to turn into a diamond painting. So that's mainly why I haven't. Will I in the future? Possibly. But I'm not going to give myself a point there because I don't have one on the way. I haven't done one yet. I'm not planning on ordering one anytime soon. I have to find something first if I were to do it. What I would want to do. And the next one is, have you ever taken a diamond painting on vacation? Oh, well, since I've started diamond painting, I have not actually been on an actual vacation anywhere. Obviously, the pandemic kind of prevented any sort of vacations. I have done overnight trips into like the mountains for a night. Did I bring diamond painting with me? No, because it was only one night. I think maybe closest was when I did dog sitting for my parents, and this was when I was fairly new with the diamond painting. I did do some dog sitting for my parents, so I was over there for the weekend. It's kind of like a staycation, because I was able to keep the kiddo with the hubby and kind of have me time, which is a very rare thing. So I did bring a diamond painting over to my parents to work on. So I brought one on a staycation vacation, which is, well, I call it a staycation because it was still in the city, but it wasn't my house, so I'll give myself a point for that. It's about as close as I've gotten. So our next question is number 13. Have you been on a diamond painting cruise? I have not. I don't even know. I didn't even know that these things existed. And did they, maybe by cruise they mean a retreat, which also I have not gone on a diamond painting retreat. As far as I know, once again, there isn't one in around the Edmonton, Alberta area to attend. I have done retreats for scrapbooking, so I know the general gist of kind of what they're about. You bring your project, which would be a diamond painting in this case, and kind of work on it with either people you attend with or fellow diamond painters that enjoy diamond painting, and you would have your spot and all of that, and that's what you would do. You'd all just kind of sit around and you get to socialize, you get to see what people are working on. Retreats are a blast. I enjoy retreats, so if anybody in around the Edmonton, Alberta area knows of any, if they do exist out there, I would love to know. But as far as I know, they don't. Even if there was one in the general area, like even if it was just a couple of hours of a drive, I would still go. But like I said, once again, as far as I know, there are none in this area. So I have not. Next one has, have I sealed a diamond painting? And sealing just means that you've applied some sort of lacquer or seal to keep kind of the diamonds on the canvas. I have. I don't do it with my diamond art clubs because they have the lifetime warranty. I've never had problems with drills popping or coming off of the canvases as of yet. So I've never sealed any of my diamond art clubs. I have sealed my low budget ones. And that's just because they're lower budget. I don't know how long the drills will kind of stay on that glue. There's no real guarantee that they'll stay on or not, so I have sealed those ones. So I'll give myself a point for that. Number 15, have you ever blinged up a diamond painting yourself? Some canvases will come with ABs, which are the Aurora Borealis drills that kind of are essentially a type of bling, but are often included in Diamond Art Club canvases and premium company canvases quite a few of the times. So I don't consider that blinging it up myself. Blinging it up yourself would be if you go and you buy additional ABs or crystals or sparklers or any of those kind of things, and you like say I wanted to have this darker purple or something in this wing crystals, so then I replaced that DMC drill with a similar colored dark crystal or dark purple crystal drill or something. That would be considered blinging it up myself. Have I done that yet? No, not to date. It's something I'm definitely looking into. I know of a couple of companies. I want to start getting a collection of crystals and other AB colors that I don't have. I save them from my canvases if there are any spares. So I have a very tiny small collection, but not enough yet that I could kind of look at a project and bling it up and have enough. So I definitely want to create a little bit of a bling up stock. I'm just waiting until I can kind of get some additional funds coming in for that before I can kind of start ordering and getting some of that stuff in. But it is something that I'm definitely interested in doing. I love the look of it, and I've been diamond painting long enough now that I've done my diamond paintings the way they're charted, and I can kind of pick out areas I would like to bling up in most of them. So it's something that I definitely want to try. I won't give myself a point because I haven't done it yet, but hopefully soon. Have I ever framed a diamond painting? Yes, I have framed a diamond painting. Let me just grab my color here while I'm thinking. I actually did a video on it. Those were those two small 30 by 30 centimeter fairy canvases that were kind of in the Jack and Sally style. I framed those. So I have framed some diamond paintings so far. I do plan to probably frame some more, but once again, it's kind of as I find the frames that I like, as I figure out how I want to frame them, and as obviously I can afford to frame them. But it's definitely something I have done and will probably do again. It really finishes off a diamond painting, I find, so I like it. Number 17, have I done both round and square diamond paintings? And that just means the drill shape that you're working with. So as you can see, the one I'm working with, if you look over at this single drill, come on, focus, they are square shaped. So I'm currently working on a square canvas. I have worked on round canvases, so I have worked on both. So I'll give myself a point for that. And have you ever done a diamond painting with AB drills? All Diamond Art Club comes with AB drills, or most do, I should say, not all. There are a couple that come with like the electro drills and a couple of other like neon drills instead of the AB drills. But most, if they don't have that, definitely come with AB drills. So I've done numerous canvases with them. And if you're not sure what an AB drill is, if you're newer, that's just those Aurora Borealis drills that have an iridescent coating with them. They're quite gorgeous. I can pull out one of my kitted up ones just to show an example. That right there is an AB. So they have that nice, gorgeous, kind of extra shimmery iridescent coating to them. So have you ever worked on a diamond painting that has that in it? Yeah. And number 19, have you ever added your own ABs to a canvas? That's pretty similar to the blinged up question. It's not something I have added extra, mainly because I didn't have the extra ABs to really do that with. I'm starting, like I said, to save them, and the spare ones mainly. So I do have some, but not enough really to say that I have enough for all that color in a canvas. So I have not added extra ABs, so I will not give myself a point for that. And number 20, have a collection of diamond painting pens. I say that I do. I don't have a huge collection, but I do have a little bit of one. I'm using 2 right now, and then I kind of have a third that I'm mainly using for the plastic straightener because it doesn't create as much static as the metal. But I use the metal with my diamond painting as I place diamonds if I need to. So I do have a small collection of diamond painting pens. I'm diamond painting, I am obsessed with pens. You can get so many gorgeous ones. Like this is a hand-turned one. This is one I got off Amazon. There are so many different gorgeous pens out there that definitely, even though my collection is small now, I definitely still want more. And I will likely end up buying more over time, so that collection is going to continue to grow. Number 21. Do you or have you used washi tape? Yes, I have and I do, for the most part, use washi tape. As you can see right here, I use it to section off my canvas. I also use it most of the time as a border going around the outside of the canvas as well, just to kind of keep all the dust and dirt and stuff off the extra glue that goes past the drill field. So I have and I do use it. Number 22 is, do you use cover minders? Yes, most of the time I do. This guy right here is a little cover minder. And for those of you that don't know what a cover minder is, it's basically just kind of looks like a little pin, except it's got a magnet on the back. And what you do is you put the magnet under the canvas, and then this part on top of the canvas, so they come together, and it just holds back this clear plastic sheet while you're diamond painting. So it doesn't get in your way or flop on top while you're trying to place drills. So yeah, I do most of the time use cover minders. Number 23, have you used waxes other than the pink wax that comes in a kit? Yes, I have. I have tried patty wax, which both their regular and super sticky, I believe is what it's called, versions. I found them both to last a lot longer than the regular pink wax that comes in kits. I've also tried the blue wax, I believe, that you can just buy. It wasn't really that a whole lot different than the pink wax, or at least I didn't find it to be. I rarely use wax now. I still use the patty wax super sticky, sometimes in a single placer. But for the most part, I am using putty now. But I have tried different waxes. That's something I have definitely done. And I may continue to try more wax again here and there. It just really depends. I find putty works well for me. When I do diamond paint, I diamond paint almost daily, so at least a little bit. So I find putty tends to last me longer without needing it to be replaced as frequently as wax does. Okay, so I'll give myself a point for that. And then number 24, have you used or do you use release sheets? I have. I tried out the ones that came in the Diamond Art Club Advent calendar. I didn't mind them. They weren't bad. I found though that they weren't, for the sections that I work on, they were just a little bit larger than what I'm used to working on in a section. But if I were to cut them in half, then they would have been too small. So I guess I work on a section that's somewhere in between a half a sheet and a sheet. I think if I were to use them more regularly or on the long term, like if I went away from using the washi tape, then I would probably take a little bit of adjusting just for that reason. Because I'm kind of used to how I currently section off. I know roughly how long each section takes me to work on. And I say roughly because, of course, if you have more confetti in a section or more color blocking in a section, that can, of course, vary the time. But that's just kind of how I'm used to diamond painting, is the way I currently do it. I kind of know roughly how long it takes me to do a section, and I have tried release papers, so I will give myself that point. But they would, if I were to use them more regularly, then I would for sure take some kind of adjustment to them. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just, that's something I noticed when I did use them. Am I turned off of them? No, I can definitely see the value behind them, and I have, and I might use them for some other ways, like keeping my hand out of the glue and things like that. I've seen them used in that way too, which is kind of nice, so I might use them in the non-traditional sense as well. So I'll kind of play around a little bit more, kind of see how they work best for me. And then number 25 is, have you worked on 2 or more DPs at a time? Yes, I have. I currently have this one on the go, and I also have the Red Cardinal from Make Market on the go. I think 2 is kind of my max that I've had. I was going to do 3 this month, but my other canvas kind of came sort of late, and I don't think I'll get it done in time for that event, the Jungle Fever one that I had wanted to join. So I would have had 3 on the go, but right now I've got 2, so yes, I have definitely worked on 2 or more. So I will give myself a point for that. And then, have you ever done a DP bigger than 60 by 80 centimeters? I have not worked on one that big to date, but I do have ones that big or bigger than, or that big in my stash. That I do plan on working on, and once again, they are canvases that I don't plan to destash or not work on for any reason, so I'm still going to give myself a point, because eventually I will have that point for doing those canvases. And then number 27 is, have you ever done a black and white diamond painting? That is one thing I have not done. I have done very dark canvases where there is a lot of black, a lot of white, a lot of gray, but they've always had some red or some purple or some blue or another color, so it's not just black and white or a shade of black and white. Like the gray is, right? Like a hue that's kind of in between those colors. It's not that. So I have not worked on a black and white in that sense, and I mean, I suppose I could take the point for it, because technically the mystery canvases are black and white, the canvas part. So depending how you want to look at that question, you can give yourself a point or not. I'm looking at it as black and white being the colors of the canvas myself, because there are canvases out there that are just black and white, like you would take your black and white photography kind of thing. So I'm not giving myself a point for that one, because that's how I'm interpreting the question, but feel free to interpret that one with how you kind of read it, and then give yourself a point or not. Number 28 is, have you done both double-sided and poured glue canvases? I have not done not poured glue, sorry. I've only ever done poured glue canvases. I have never ended up doing a double-sided adhesive. I'm aware that they're out there and they do exist. I can't say whether I would be turned off of it or not. I know how to deal with flattening. I know you don't roll them like you do poured glue. So I do know tips and tricks on how to work with them. But I personally have not worked on a double-sided adhesive canvas. Not because I don't want to. Like I said, I would not be turned off working off one. I would certainly give one a try if there was a canvas or an piece of artwork that came like that. I just, to date, have not purchased any that have been double-sided adhesives from any of the places that I've ordered canvases from or bought in person. So yeah, I won't be giving myself a point, obviously, for that one. Have you ever used a diamond painting ruler to place drills? And if you don't know what a diamond painting ruler is, you might have seen them, you might not have, but they're just like a metal, almost stencil-like thing that you place over your canvas grid lines, kind of where your symbols are, and you center your symbols in them. They come in both round and square, and I know people do use them. They are supposed to kind of help you keep your drills straight when you're placing them on the canvas. I have heard, though, that some fit well, some don't, depending on each individual company and how they space their drills on the canvas. I'm not giving myself I know of them, but I've never used them, so I'm not giving myself a point. There was a point in time that I did debate getting one and trying it. But like I said, then I kind of heard that they don't necessarily fit all the canvases and stuff like that, so I kind of turned away from that. And honestly, working on each canvas, I found that, you know, I don't really struggle too badly, or at least I don't think I struggle too badly with keeping drills fairly straight. I'm not looking for my canvases to be perfect by any means. For me, it's about enjoying the process and enjoying the diamond painting. So if the odd one isn't straight or lined up or whatever, I'm not too worried about that. That and diamond paintings aren't really meant to be viewed up close, detail by detail or anything like that. Usually you kind of stand back like you do a piece of pixelated art and you kind of just take in the overall image and notice the details from that point of view. So having a ruler and worrying about stuff like that, I don't bother with personally. So I can't give myself a point for having used one. Our last and final question. Do you have over 100 in your stash? I do not. Or at least I don't think I do. I kind of keep track, or I had kept track of most of them on GemFlows, which is an app. And I know that I had over 50 easily between my Diamond Art Club and low budget. But I was not close enough to 100 that even the few that I've bought since then and now would have bumped me up high enough to have 100 in my stash. So I definitely do not have 100 in my stash, so I won't be giving myself that point. But I know certainly people have larger stashes, and some even have way over 100. I just personally have not gotten to that point yet. Will I? Who knows? I work on mine frequently, so I mean, I'm dwindling down my stash more than I'm buying right now, just because that's what where my budget's at. But definitely, who knows, at some point I might. So I'm going to add up my number here, and I've got 23 out of 30 answers that I've said yes to. So my number is 23. I would say 23 out of 30 probably means I'm pretty diamond painting obsessed. Don't know about you guys, but there we go. The numbers told me. And I haven't even tried all of those things. I don't even have a large stash. I've just really gotten into the craft, and I've explored between the rounds and squares and some of those little things, and I've made some of those newbie mistakes that I didn't make it when I was first starting. I've actually probably made more of them now, doing it almost about 9 months or so than I did when I first started. And that's mainly just because I often diamond paint when I'm tired. I diamond paint when there's lots going on in my mind, and so I don't always, like most people, I don't always catch those little boo-boos right away, or I get distracted and then all of a sudden I've placed the drill in the wrong spot, or I turn too quickly to do something and I've spilled my drills, or you know, something silly like that. But yeah, so I've got 23 out of 30. I thought that would be kind of a fun little quiz to do. I hope you guys kind of played along, and I would love to see your numbers down in those comments below if you've stuck around this long. Yeah, that is about it. I will catch you guys in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.